Welcome to DataPencil. Hello everyone. So today is day 3 of our SQL AI course and today we will discuss module 2. If you are new to this channel and you haven't registered for this course, so let me introduce a bit about it, that it is absolutely free of cost. After completing this course, you will get your certificate. There are some very basic rules that you will have to follow, and then after that, after completion of this course, you will be eligible for your certificate. You can also check our website www.datapencil.org for more information. So we have already covered module 0, where we have seen the basic information like what is data, what is database, the basic introduction of SQL. And then we have covered module 1, where we have discussed how a clean data looks like and then how to create database. We have seen the concept of database, then the tables we have seen, and then we have discussed about the primary key, ER diagram, and the relationships between different tables and how it is useful while creating tables. Okay, so now we will discuss our module 2, and in this module we will discuss data types, the different types of data types. Then we will see how to choose a correct data type for our data. And then we will learn about the constraint, what this constraint basically is, and then how constraint prevents the dirty data. Okay, so let's discuss everything one by one. So first of all, I want to ask a question. If anyone can enter any value into a table, okay, if anyone can enter any value into a table, how can we trust the data? So the answer is simply that we can't, because we are humans and we can make mistake. It can be a wrong number, it can be wrong spelling, missing values, correct? So SQL gives us rules, okay, to protect our data, and those rules are data types, okay, data types and constraints. So this module you can think it like a guard of your data, okay? It is like a security guard of your data. No nonsense can enter in our tables. Fine, okay. In SQL, when we create table, we have to mention the data type. It means every column must answer this question: what kind of data is allowed here? Is it a number, a text, date? Here SQL basically doesn't guess like Excel. We have to inform SQL what type of data we are going to enter in a particular column of a table. Okay, now let's see different data types. So first of all, we will discuss numeric data type. As the name suggests, that numeric may be something related to number, right? Numeric may be related to the number. So when do we use number? We use the number when we write any ID. So there will be some columns which will be related to the ID. It can be student ID, it can be employee ID. Okay, so there are some columns that contain ID. There are some columns that contain age, right? Age is also a number. There will be some column that will contain salary. Some column might contain quantity, price. It can be rating also. Okay. Now, when we are talking about numerical data type, there is number 1 data type that is called integer. Integer signifies with the int. Okay. We will write int, and int contain all the whole numbers. Okay, all the whole numbers. So int can be used for age. Okay, int can be used for IDs, right? Now I want to tell you one very important thing here, that in majority of the enterprises, in the offices, IDs are always in numeric form. Okay, it can be 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, basically they keep it as a number because number gives us speed and accuracy. Now, second data type is about decimal. Second data type is about decimal. Now when we can use this decimal data type, so we can use it for the salary. We can use it where we have to deal with the price, marks, money. All these things will come under decimal data type. Okay, how we write this data type? So to write this data type, we simply have to write firstly decimal in the bracket 10 comma 2. Now understand this. What is this 10 and what is this 2? So here 10 means the total digits. Okay, 10 means the total digits. So let's take one value 2, 5, 6, 9, 8, 4, 3, 6.99. Okay, suppose this is a number that we will enter in our column. This is a value. So here for this value we will give data type. We will provide the data type as decimal, and in the decimal we will write 10 comma 2. It means the total digits. Okay, maximum total digits are here 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this 2 is about the digits which is after decimal. Okay, which is after decimal. So after decimal here you will see 2 digits, 1 and 2. So that's why we have written here 2. Okay, fine. So we have seen int and decimal. They are part of numeric data type. Okay, now what about text data type? Text means if we have to simply enter something in the form of ABCD or the mixture of ABCD 1, 2, 3. So how can we enter that? And in IT terms it is called a string. Now let's see a string data type. The third one is a string data type. The third one is a string data type. Now what is this string? So a string is nothing, it is basically text. When we write something in text form ABCD, then we call it a string. Okay, so the columns that contain name, that contains city, email, what else, status, department, okay, they all will come under a string data type. Now what is the way to write this string data type? How can we depict it? So for that we use a term called varchar. Varchar. And inside the bracket we will insert here, we will write here the maximum limit. If we are writing suppose 100, it means whatever value we are going to write, that will contain 100 letters only, not more than 100. Okay, and it can be less than 100 but not more than 100. So this is varchar. It means, what is the meaning of this varchar? So varchar means variable length text. Okay, variable length text character, variable length text. Okay, there is varchar and another is char. For this char also we write the limit. Okay, and this char is used when we have a fixed length that will not going to change, then we will use this char. Suppose there is a column of name. So name can be Ram, Krishna. So we know that the length is changing, it is in variable nature, right? If it is in variable nature, then we will use varchar. But if it is fixed, if everywhere we have to write Ram, 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 or whatever, of fixed length of 3 character or 5 character, then we will use char there. Okay. Now see the example where we can use char. Suppose there is country code. Okay. So for the country code we can use char, and we will give the limit 2 here. Right? Okay. We can also use phone numbers. So the third data type that we have seen is a string data type. It means simply a text format. So how we can write this data type? We have to mention it either by varchar or by char. When we can use varchar? When there is a variable length character. And if there is fixed length character, then we will use the char. What is this thing inside the bracket? Inside this, it is a limit, maximum limit. Okay, so Now come to the fourth data type, which is date and time. So to tell the SQL that we are going to enter date, we have to use a data type which is called date. Okay, D-A-T-E. This data type is used for date. Okay. Now we simply write the name of the column and then the data type, which is date. While doing the practical, okay, then we will see how we are using it, then it will be more clear. Now, along with the date, if you want time also, okay, then we will use date time data type. Date time. Okay. For the date only, we will use date data type. For date and time both, we will use date time. This is the name of the data type. I hope it's clear. Okay. Now there is one very important data type called timestamp. So what is the difference between date time and timestamp? Guys, we use the timestamp when exactly there is something happened. Okay, exactly when something has happened. For that scenarios, we will use the timestamp. Okay, let's see example. Suppose there is a column called login time. Correct? It means exact moment when user logged in. Okay, if the client is in USA, then it will generate automatic login time when the user appear on the screen. So it can be whatever, 7:30 AM suppose. And if the boss is in India, then the current time as per this, it will be shown here. Suppose here it is 6 PM, then it will be shown 6 PM here. When we will use this timestamp data type. Okay. Suppose, take another example. Suppose there is order placed time. Order placed time. So the exact time when the user has placed the order, when the customer has placed the order, it will appear in the particular column's value. Fine. Okay. So for date and time, we will use three type of data type. First is date, then date time, and then the time stamp. Okay. Now come to a very important part, which is to choose a correct data type, guys. Okay, because there will be different columns, different datas, and then it will be a huge confusion how to choose a correct data type. It is a phone number, we have to take it as integer, we have to take it as varchar, char, or what. Okay, because guys, SQL will not going to warn you. It will automatically throw a wrong answer. It will be absolutely silent answer. It will not going to warn you. Okay, you have to use your brain. So let's see some examples one by one, some cases basically one by one, so that you will not do this mistake as a beginner. It is very common. Okay, so suppose if you have to enter number. Okay, if you have to enter number, so for the number you have to ask yourself, will I calculate this? Okay, will I calculate this? It means, are we going to do the addition with this, or if we will ever subtract it, if we will ever take the average, if we will have to compare the values? If it is a yes, then definitely it is a number, means numeric data type. Okay. Now see the mistake part, where we majority of us do the mistake. So if we have to take phone number, okay, let's take a case of phone number. What should be the data type of phone number? Will it be numeric, means integer? We have to consider it as an integer. Phone number, obviously we will write it as digits. Suppose someone's phone number is this, okay, then it is a numeric form. We can save it as integer. What's wrong in it? We cannot take it as an integer. There are several reasons. See them very carefully. See, we have to, there are many cases when we have to mention the 0 just before any phone number. Correct? We have to mention 0. So if we will write the phone number or any country name with the 0 at the start, then what will happen after storing it? It will automatically convert it to 7897761209. Okay, so it means we will lose this. It will be lost, means the leading 0 is lost in such cases. So data is corrupted. Correct? Now, what is the second problem? So second problem is we will destroy the formatting if we will save the phone number in integer data type. How? See, the format of the phone number is something 91, then the numbers, then this hyphen. Correct? This is the correct format. If we will write it integer, then integer only allows digits, no sign, no any symbol. Okay. Now, what is the third problem? So, do we need to do the calculations with the phone number? Will there be any need to add phone numbers? Okay. No. Will there be any need to take the average of phone numbers? No. No logical sense here. Correct. So, the correct data type of phone number is varchar. If it is fixed, then we can take it as char also. Okay. So, be very careful when you will create the table and there is a column of phone number, then you will have to take it as a varchar. How we are going to do it? Using the MySQL, we will see everything in a practical way as well. Just keep some patience. We will also see how we can utilize the AI, what type of generative AI we are going to use. Everything we will discuss, but as I already told that we need to be very clear with the basics, because if we just don't know the language, then we cannot do the proper conversation. Correct? Now, see the case 2 of money. Suppose we have to give the money column. This time is about money. Okay. Now, we have to think, will accuracy matter here? Okay. Like salary, price, revenue. In all these cases, the accuracy, the precision matters. If you will store the salary as varchar, then what will happen? What will happen? We cannot do the sum part here, right? We cannot use the function called sum. As the name suggests, sum does what? It basically add all the numbers, right? But if we will store it in varchar data type, then we cannot do this thing. We cannot calculate it. Okay? We cannot take the average. There is another data type called float. See the difference between float and decimal here. Float basically gives the round value. Okay? Round off value, and decimal gives the exact value. After decimal, if we have mentioned it like 10,2, it means after the decimal till 2 digit, it will give the value. But what will float does? Float gives the rounding value. Okay, and suppose there is a number called 58.86. So it will give 58 to you only, 58. Right. So for the cases of the salaries, definitely it will give the wrong answer if we will take it as a float data type. So in the bank, they always use decimal because accuracy, precision matters here. So for the case of money, for the case of any example you can take of the money like salary, so the correct data type that we will use, it will be decimal. Okay, so these are the two data types that I want to make all of you aware about. Here you will have to choose the correct data type. While proceeding, if I'll get more examples, then I will give you in between. Okay, so let's have a quick look what we have discussed. So we have seen the numeric data type. It means we have seen integer and the decimal. Then we have seen a string data type. The string data type, in this we have seen varchar and char. Okay, and then we have seen date data type, where we have seen date time, and the time stamp data type. The common mistakes that we do while Choosing the data type, I have give you the example of phone number. Some people take the phone number as an integer, which is absolutely wrong. Some people take the money, they take it as float, they take it as something else. So we cannot take it. We simply have to take it as decimal, because here precision and accuracy matters. Okay, now it's time to see the constant. What is basically constant? And guys, I will provide the full list of data types in our WhatsApp group. You will get the PDF there, and all the essential informations related to data type will be there. Now let's discuss what is constants. So firstly, let's have some basic understanding about the constant. So basically guys, constant is simply a rule. Okay, how SQL stops bad data before it enters our database. Okay, it is a rule. You can relate it with our real life, like you cannot join office without your ID. Okay, salary cannot be negative. Okay, what else? Emails must be unique, right? These are some basic rules that we have seen in our real life. Okay, in SQL, constants are such rules that SQL enforces automatically. Okay, it means what? It means whatever be the bad data, that will be stopped at the entry. Okay, the bad data will be stopped at the entry. Now let's see how many types of constant, what bad data I'm talking about. Let's see everything one by one. So we mention constants in two places. We mention constants in two places. When we can mention it while creating the table. Okay, in majority of the cases we mention the constants when we create the table. So there are two places where we can use the constant. Listen carefully, everything will be clear. Just listen carefully. See, the first place where we will mention the constant is the column level. Column level. The second place where we mention the constant is table level. Now we will see firstly the column level constants, all constants one by one. So the first constant is not null. Not null means what? The value cannot be null. Simple, right? How can we mention this constant? Constant means what? Rule. How can we mention this rule? So when we are writing the name of the column, we are writing our column name, then what we have to mention here? We have to mention the data type of this column, and after this data type we will mention the constant. If we have to apply any, then we will mention that constant. So firstly column name, then data type, and then the constant. Okay, if we are talking about this not null, then how can we write? We can write column name. Suppose the data type is integer, and then we have to write here not null. This is the name of the constant not null. Simple, correct? Now another constant is unique. Unique means what? Every value must be unique. It should not repeat. Every value must be unique. How can we mention this constant? So we simply have to write the name of the column, then the data type, and then the name of the constant here. If it is unique, so we will simply write unique. Okay, suppose the column name is email, so we will firstly write email. The data type of email is varchar, so we will write varchar. Limit suppose 50, and then we will write the constant. It is a unique. I hope it's clear. So guys, basically constant is a rule. Okay, rule of a column. Now one more constant let's discuss. So it is about the default. Default, if we want any auto value. Okay, if user doesn't give any value and he or she want that SQL fills it automatically, then how can we write it? We will write, suppose the column which is status, In this column, we want the default value. So we will write the name of the column, which is a status. And then we will write varchar, okay, the limit. And after that, we will write default. Then the value, whatever default value we want here. Suppose we want active. So we will write active here. Okay, so column name, data type name, and then the constant name. It is a default constant, so we will have to give the default word also that we want to enter automatically. So these are the three constants that we have discussed. Now let's see the table level constants. What are the constants that we use at a table level? So for the table level, yeah. Table level constant. So for the table level, the first one is primary key. Okay, primary key. How we write it? We have to simply write name of the column, then the data type, and then we will write here primary key. This is it. Okay. The second one is foreign key. For the foreign key, there is a bit change in the syntax. For the foreign key, we simply write it like this. See. Here you can see two examples. So first one, this one. It is of the primary key constant. Here I have shown you how to mention the primary key constant. Okay, so we have to create the table. So we will write create table, then the name of the table, then the opening of this parenthesis, and then name of the column, data type of the column, and then simply we will write it is a primary key. This is it. Then the second column, and then the closing of this parenthesis. It is about the primary key. For the foreign key, the syntax is a bit different. So here we will write create column. Then we will write the first column, whatever it is. Okay. Suppose here it is order ID. It is a primary key. So we will write it. Then customer ID, then order date, third column. Okay. Now here foreign key was this customer ID. We have to mention this column as the foreign key. So we cannot simply write just after this integer that it is a foreign key. No, we cannot do it. Okay. The foreign key, the way of mentioning the foreign key is different. We mention the foreign key at the last. When we mention all the columns, then after that at the last, we mention all the foreign keys one by one. Okay, so in this table, in this orders table where there are three columns, order ID, customer ID, order date. Okay, here the foreign key column was this, customer ID, right? So we will write it here, that foreign key and then the name of this column. Okay, now the very important thing, from where we have taken this, from which table we have taken this column. It must have some parent table, right? So we have to give the reference of the parent table. So the parent table is customers table, this table, the parent table and the name of the column. I hope it's clear. So to mention the foreign key, we always mention it at the end after writing all the columns. Then we will choose which column we are going to take as a foreign key and then we will mention it. Firstly, we will write foreign key. Then inside the parenthesis, give the name of that column. Then we will have to give the reference. What is the reference of this foreign key? This foreign entity came from here. Where? This foreign entity came from where? So it came from this table, customer table. So we will write, okay, this came from customers table and the column was this customer ID. Correct, guys? Okay. So at the table level, we have seen two keys, which is primary key and the foreign key. And there is one last constant called check. Okay, so check means what? Check means simply we have to check the value. There should be a rule where there is a need to check something, like age must be greater than 18, salary must be greater than 0, rating must be between 1 to 5. Correct? These are the values. These are the points where we have to check. So how can we write it? The example is something, suppose you have to take the age column. So you will write the column name, which is age, then the data type integer, and then you will simply write check. And then whatever be the rule. So suppose age should be greater or equal to the 18. So we will write it like this. Okay. We will see how constants prevent dirty data. Okay. How many constants we have seen till yet? So we have seen 3 constants at the column level, which is null, not null, unique and default. At the table level, we have seen primary key, foreign key and the check. And now it's time to see how constant prevents the dirty data. So first of all, there is need to understand basically what is dirty data. So dirty data can be a wrong data. Dirty data means a wrong data. Okay, incomplete data, illogical data, duplicate data. These are the dirty datas. So dirty data, you will not see any error for the dirty data. Okay, it will be considered as the business error. Like suppose the salary. Suppose salary is, you have entered the salary as negative 5,000. Okay, suppose age, you have entered the age as 4. Okay, can any employee be of age 4? No. Suppose you have entered the same email for 3 users. Suppose you have entered the order details for a customer that doesn't even exist. Okay, so it is a dirty data, guys. Dirty data, you can say it looks normal. Age can be 4, but if we talk about the office scenario, employee scenario, then it is absolutely bullshit. Email cannot be same for different users, right? So that's where constant behaves as heroes. If you are putting the not null constant, it means whatever value you are going to put, it cannot be null. If you have put the unique constant, if you have used this unique constant, then all emails will be unique. As SQL captures same email, it will immediately throw the error. If you will not mention this constant, then there will be no error. Then you cannot trust your data. If the emails are same, then it is not a trustworthy data. The same way default, what this default does, so it basically stops the ambiguous data. It means it will prevent any null value. Suppose any value is unknown. Any value is unknown. We just don't know what to fill in that particular box. We just don't know what to fill. Then if we have mentioned this default constant, then suppose we have mentioned default as unknown. Then instead of this null value, we will see unknown written. Name unknown. City unknown. Okay, it will be easy for us. At the end, we will see the graph where unknown cities are this much. We just don't have any data about these cities. Unknown names are this much. We just don't have any data about these names. So we can discard it, or we can replace it, or we can take any whatever appropriate decision. Correct? So this is the value of mentioning constant and how it prevents the dirty data. Now we will discuss alter table. What is this alter table? It means basically, guys, to change the structure without deleting the table. Suppose business rules changed. Suppose new fields are required. Okay, suppose whatever mistakes were there, they are now discovered. Okay, so what we can do? We can alter our table. So firstly, see what alter table can do. It can add a new column. It can add a new column. What else? It can modify the existing column. It can add the constants also. Okay. It can drop any constant as well. Suppose any rule is changed after 1 year, after 1 month. So we can drop that constant also. Correct? We can rename our columns. Fine. Now we will see few examples one by one. So suppose at the very first we want to add a new column. What we want to add? We want to add new column. So to add a new column, we will write, basically we are changing the table, we are altering the table. So we will write alter table. Okay, Then the name of the table in which we want change. So suppose the table name is employee. So we will write employee here, and then we will write add, as we want to add new column. So we will write add, then the name of the new column, suppose we want phone number, then the data type of this column, if it is varchar, we can write varchar, and then the colon, simple. Okay, suppose we want to modify existing column, then how can we write? So for that we will write, this is also a part of table alteration, so we will write alter table and then the name of the table, and now we will write modify. In above case we have simply added a new column, here we just want the modification, so we will write modify, the name of the column, suppose it is salary, then the data type of that column, decimal, 10,2, and this is it. Okay, what modification we have done it? Earlier salary was mentioned as integer. Okay, earlier salary was mentioned as integer. Now we want simply to change the data type. So we have simply changed the data type here. This is it. Okay, now the third is if we want to add any constraint. Suppose while creating the table we forgot to add the constraint. How can we add it? So for that we can use the alter table. So we will write alter table, then the name of the table, and then we will write modify, because column already exists, we just want some modification, and then the name of the column, suppose it is salary, and then the data type of this column, and then the name of the constant. Suppose we want here not null, so we will write not null. This is it. Okay, we have seen three scenarios: to add the column, to modify the existing column, or to add the constant. Now the last one is dropping the constant. Suppose we want to drop any constant. So how can we do? We will write alter table, the name of the table, and then we will write drop, the name of the constant, whatever we want to drop. Suppose we want to drop not null, so we will write not null. Suppose if it is salary, this constant is applicable. This constant was imposed on the salary column, so we will mention the column which is salary, and this is it. Alter table, table name, drop, then the constant name, the column on which this constant has been imposed. This is it. Okay, so these are the methods by which we can alter our table. So what we have discussed the data types. Okay, we have seen some cases where mistakes might happen while choosing the data type, and then we have seen the constraints. What is constraints? How constraints prevent our dirty data, and then how to alter our table. These are the topics that we have discussed today. Alright, so now whatever we have learned in theory form, we will do it in a practical way, correct? So let's open your MySQL workbench and try to do it along with me, because you already know the logic, you already know the concept, so you can do it with me. Fine, so let's open your MySQL workbench. And after opening, you will see here all schemas are here. The company DB that earlier I have created, they all are databases. Company DB, DataPencil DB, these all are databases. I hope it is visible here, right? Now what we will do, we will perform some queries here. Okay, so let's open. My file is already open, but if you want to open a new file, you can click over this icon which is plus SQL. Once you will click on it, you will see that your new file is open, right? Okay, so now before the practice session, you can see I have mentioned 2 hyphens dash dash. Okay, it means what? Whenever we want to write any note or any comment that is not a code thing, for such things we mention this dash dash, and then we write our whatever comment we want to write, we will simply write it. Suppose we have to mention the query, so we will write dash dash query number 1, and this, it is not a part of code, it is simply a extra note or comment. Okay, now I'm going to write our query number 1, which is we have to create database, and the name of this database is school DB. It is not created. Yes, fine. Sorry. So this is your query. You have to create the database. Okay, the name of this database is SchoolDB. So how can we create? For the creation of database, we simply have to write create. Okay, create. What to create? We have to create database. So we will write database. Then after that, we will mention the name of this database, which is SchoolDB. And then this semicolon. Correct? Now select this, and this is the execution button. You will click over this. Once you will click, you will see in the action output that it is written one row affected. It means your database is created. How will you check? You will have to click here, which is a refresh button, and then you can see your SchoolDB database is created. Correct? Now you have created your database. It means you have created your cupboard. Now it's time to enter in the cupboard. Only then we can put new files, we can put new rows, new columns, new values. Correct? So to enter in the database, here is our second query. It is saying use the, let me copy paste it, use this database. Okay, this is our second query. So how can we use this database? Means how can we open the SchoolDB cupboard and work inside it? So for that, we simply need to write use. This is a keyword use, and then the name of the database, whatever database we want to use. Now select it, and then this is the execution button. You can execute from here. So now you will see this SchoolDB is highlighted. It is in bold now. It means whatever work we will do, it will come in this database. Okay, fine. Now our third query is to check the SQL connection. Okay, write a query to check SQL connection. How can you check it? So for that, you simply have to write select one. This is it. Okay, and then execute it. So here you will see the output is in the result grid. It is showing 1, which means we are connected. Now let me explain it in detail, because you must wondering what I'm telling right now. What is this connection is all about? Okay, so let me ask a very simple question. Before you start talking on a phone call, what do you say first? What do you say first? You say hello, right? Hello, can you hear me? Something like this. So you are basically not talking about your work. You are not sharing any information. You are only checking one thing, which is the connection working or not? Hello, right? Now SQL works in exactly the same way. Okay, whenever an app or website or tool wants to talk to a database, the first question it asks is, database, are you there? Okay, and this question we asked by using select one. Now listen very carefully. Now the question comes, who is talking to whom here? Means connection is established between which two entity. So one side, it can be a website, mobile app, Python, Power BI, okay, or even it will be you who is typing. Okay, this side is called application. Okay. Now who is on the other side? So on the other side it is my SQL, or it can be SQL Server or Postgre, it depends. Okay, so basically this side is about the database. So between them, if there is a connection, means between an application and the SQL, if there is a connection, okay, then you will get the reply. What reply? It will be this, which is 1. It means we are successfully connected with the database. Okay, if it doesn't give any reply, then it means we are not connected, and then nothing will work. Okay, login will fail, your reports will not open, whatever you're trying to insert will not happen, such things will happen. Okay, and if the result is 1, it means we are successfully connected with the database. It means our connection is alive, our database is reachable, and now we can perform our work. It's simple like this. Okay, select one has one more use case. It means we can use it for other purpose as well, and that I will discuss in coming modules. Now come to our query 3, Okay, I have written here 2. Now query 4 is about creating a table. Okay, here we have to create students table. Create a student table. This table creation, and there are several other operations. This I will cover in detail in next module. Okay, but for this practice session, creation of table is compulsory. That's why I am explaining here as well. If you are able to understand, then it's good. If not, then it's all, again, it is good, because you will cover it in next module. So how can we create table? Okay, in this table there will be 4 columns. Okay, 4 columns. What those 4 columns will be? So it will be student ID. Let me write it. Student ID. Next column will be name. Next column will be city, and the last column is date of birth. So I'm writing here DOB. These are the 4 columns. Okay, the table that we are going to create will contain these 4 columns. Sorry. So how to create a table? So first of all, we need to write create table, and then we have to define the table name. So this time it is a students table. Let it be student. Okay, student table. And then opening of this bracket, which is called parenthesis. So we have to open this parenthesis this time. And now we will mention all columns one by one along with their data types. Okay, the constants that we read just, they are also mentioned here, but this time we will mention only data type, so that it will be easy for you to understand, to digest the things. Okay, so the first column is our student ID, correct? After mentioning the name of the column, we have to give the data type. Here I am taking int. Now the name will be varchar, because it will be in variable nature. Okay, so varchar, and I'm taking the limit, maximum limit will be 100. Now the next column is city, so we will write here city, and then the data type. So it is again varchar, because the letter, the alphabets and the city will vary. So let's take the limit as 50. Now the DOB, date of birth. What should be the data type for DOB? Okay, so it will be date. Okay, no date time, because a DOB, inside the DOB there is only year, month and the day. Time is not needed. Okay, so we will take it only date here. Now it's time to close this parenthesis and put this colon. Okay. Fine. A very easy method to see either you are doing any mistake or not. You will see here with this vertical line, you will see one cross is here. Okay, it means something we did wrong here. What wrong we did? So the comma is necessary. Okay, after each column the comma is necessary. We have mentioned here comma, but we forgot to mention comma here. That was on purpose, so that I can explain this thing, that if you are seeing this cross, it means some syntactical error you did. Syntactical error, syntax is what? Syntax is simply the way of writing a code in proper manner. Okay, so now put the comma here. See, now this cross is disappeared. The cross appeared here. We have forgot to put the comma here also. Now no cross is here. It means our code is fine. Okay, now select all the codes and then execute, run them, and you will see 0 rows affected. Create table students. It means whatever table you want to create, it has been created. See, once you will click on this tables icon, here you will see your student table is created. Okay, fine. Now the next query is to make the student ID the primary key. Okay, while creation of the table we forgot to mention that this student ID is a primary key. Fine, how can we mention now? What is the method? How can we mention it? If you know it, you can comment also. So how can you mention? Fine. We can do it by using the alter table. We just studied this thing, correct? So we will write alter table. Which table we want to alter? We have to mention the name of this table. Guys, we simply need to remember this sequence, and there is not any rocket science to remember this sequence. You will remember it once you will do enough practice. Then it will be super easy for you to remember. So we will write alter table student, okay? And then what we have to do, we have to add a constant. This is a constant, correct? At the table level constant it is, so we have to add it. So to add anything, we write add. What constant we have to add? We will have to add primary key. So we will write here primary key, and then inside the bracket we have to mention the key which we want to make a primary key. So this is student ID. This is it. Now let's run it, and here you will see it is green tick and 0 rows affected. It means now your student ID becomes primary key. Okay, this is 5th question. Now we will create one more table, and this time we will mention the primary key while creating the table. Okay, so this time we are going to create teachers table. Teacher I am writing, not teachers. Okay, so teacher table with primary key. How can we do it? So for that we simply need to write create table. Now we have to give the name of the table, which is teacher. Okay, after that opening of this parenthesis, correct? Then what? Then we have to mention the columns. So the columns are teacher ID, then teacher name, then subject. These are the 3 columns. Okay, so one by one let's mention their data type and any constant if we have to add it. So teacher ID and its data type is an integer, and it is a primary key also. So we will write the primary key here as it is, then the comma. Okay, now next column is teacher name. The data type is varchar, and I'm taking it as its limit as 100. Next is subject. The data type again is varchar. This is it. Now it's time to close the parenthesis and then colon. So we have created another table, which is teachers table. Let's refresh it from here. Then you will see one above one is a student and the teacher. Now it's time to create one more table. Okay, why I'm creating another table? So that you will learn how to mention foreign key also. So this time we will create course table and link it with teachers table. Okay, so let's firstly see what columns will be there. So columns are course ID and course name, teacher ID. Okay, these are the columns. So here it is written and link it with the teachers table. So how can we link it? Can you see any common columns? Yes, it is teacher ID mentioned here and here. Okay, in both the tables teacher ID is mentioned. So we will connect this course table with this teacher table with this linked column, which is teacher ID, and this teacher ID is basically working here as a foreign key because the parent table, okay, whatever the parent table of this teacher ID is this teachers table. So the original source of this teacher ID is not this course table, it is this teachers table. That's why this teacher ID is behaving here as a foreign entity or foreign key. So now let's see how we will mention it. So first of all, we have to write create table, and the name of the table is course, and then the opening of parenthesis. Now course ID is gone. Now we will write our name of the column, which is course ID. Then we will give the data type integer, and then we will mention it as a primary key. For this table, which is course table, course ID is a primary key here. Now comma. The second column is course name. Now the data type, okay, and it is varchar. Now third column is teacher's ID and it is integer, comma. We will not write here, it is a foreign key. Okay, we will put a comma. Now foreign key always mentioned at last. So we will write here foreign key. Then which column we are taking as foreign key? So we have to mention that column in this parenthesis. So we will write it is teacher's ID. Okay. Now we have to mention the reference. Okay. From which table we have taken it. What is the source of this column teacher ID? So we will write the references. And reference is the teacher's table. Correct. And in teacher's table we have to write the primary key name, which is teacher ID. Okay, now close the parenthesis and then run it. See, here it is green tick. Okay, it means you have successfully created your course table. I hope you are getting correct. Now it's time to, let's refresh and see our course table is also created. Okay, now it's time to create one more table so that we can see how to, mention more than one foreign key. So we will create one more table here. So we will create another table, which is enrollments table. Okay, now we will firstly write create table, and the name of the table is enrollments. After that, opening of this parenthesis, the columns in enrollment tables are enrollment ID, student ID, course ID, enroll date. This is it. Okay, so let's cover them one by one. So first column is enrollment ID. The data type is integer. It is an ID, so we'll take it as an integer. Now it is a primary key for this table, correct? Now the next one is a student ID. It is integer. We have taken this student ID from which table? So student ID we have taken from this student table. See, the student ID is in student table. Okay, so this will work here as what? It will work here as foreign key, but we will mention it at the end, not here. Now the next one is course ID, and we will mention its data type, which is integer again. So this course ID is taken from where? It is taken from this table, which is course table. This is course ID, and here it is working as a primary key. Okay, now the last one is enrollment date, and its data type is simple date, then the comma. Fine. Now it's time to mention the foreign key. So we have two foreign keys here. First one is a student ID and second one is course ID, right? So we will write, firstly we have to simply write the foreign key. This is it. Then after that, mention the name of the column. So the first column is this one. We will paste it here like this. And then we will have to give the reference. So we will simply write reference means what is the original source of this key? What is the original source of this column? So the source is students table. So we will write here student. And then mention the column name. Then comma. After that we will mention second foreign key. Opening of this parenthesis and write the name of the second foreign key, which is this course ID. Again we have to put the reference. So the reference, the parent table of this column is, it is what? It is course table. So we will write here course, and then we will simply mention the name of the column. This is it. Now no foreign keys are left. all are covered. So simply close the parenthesis here and put this colon. This is it. So what we did here, we have mentioned one primary key and we have mentioned two foreign keys, which is student ID and the course ID, and the way of mentioning is this. Okay, now select all of them and execute it. So here you will see you have a green tick. It means your enrollments table is also created. Refresh from here and here you will see your enrollments table is created. Just click on this icon. So here it is enrollment ID, student ID, course ID, enrollment date. This enrollment ID is a primary key here. The student ID and course IDs are foreign key here. It means their source is somewhere else, which is student table and course table, and the last column is enrollment date. This is it. Okay, now this is it for today's practice session. Tomorrow when we will cover our module 3, then we will do remaining things one by one, which is to how to add data type, and we will see the use of decimal data type and different data types as well. How to add check constant, such things we will see in tomorrow's module. Now let's see the questions that you will have to answer in the comment section. So your first question is, if you are creating a table for employees' salaries, why is decimal a safer choice than float? And what kind of problem can float create in real reports? Okay, you have to give the answers in your own word, no duplicacy allowed, guys. Okay, the second question is, which two constants would you use to make sure that an employee's email is always present and never duplicated? Fine. This is our module 2. Okay, now the next module will be module 3, and after this module we are going to have our proficiency test, right? So I will cover this module tomorrow, and after tomorrow there will be proficiency test that you will have to clear. Okay, so this is it for today's video, for today's module. So keep practicing, guys. Take care. Bye bye. See you.